Today in Detroit, Kia finally took the wrapper off of the long-expected Telluride. Now, the Telluride had been dripping out for some time. We have seen basically the same vehicle with a snorkel and an extra bumper on the front, etc. But this is actually the final production version of the biggest Kia they've ever made. And it will actually be made right here in the United States. This is a 3-row crossover that is 8 inches longer than the 3-row Kia Sorento and 5 inches longer even than the old Kia Borrego, which was their very short-lived rear-wheel drive SUV. Up front, we have this bold new look from Kia. It's a variant of the same sort of grille that we've seen on Kias before. We have LED headlamps on the side, of course, and we have kind of a new square theme for the brand. Instead of being a little bit rounder like we see in the Kia Stinger, this is definitely going for a big, bold, square look, very much like the Volkswagen Atlas. Under the hood, we have a new 3.8-liter V6 engine. This produces 291 horsepower, which is a little bit below some of the competition. It sends that power to the front wheels or to all 4 wheels via a new 8-speed automatic transmission. This is very similar to what's going on under the hood of the Sorento, but just bumped up for the larger Kia. Unfortunately, the early rumors of the Telluride being a rear-wheel drive model based on one of the new Genesis rear-wheel drive platforms didn't come to fruition. Instead, this is actually a little bit more closely related to what's under the hood of the Hyundai Palisade. From the side, you can definitely see how big and how square the Telluride is. That really helps when it comes to overall interior headroom in the back, and especially in the third row, where we get a lot more third row usable room than we find in the smaller Sorento. Out back, we have a different design than we see in the rest of the Kia SUV lineup, with some tail lamps that actually mirror a little bit of what's going on in the Soul, only flipped upside down. We also have a very vertical hatch, which definitely improves cargo practicality. Behind this hatch, we find 21 cubic feet of storage space behind the third row seats. That puts this definitely in direct competition with the larger entries like the Volkswagen Atlas, and actually well ahead of the new Ford Explorer. The outgoing Ford Explorer had a very deep cargo area, but the new model has gone rear-wheel drive, and as a result, we have less cargo space back there. Somewhat like we saw in the last generation Explorer, we have a very deep cargo well under the cargo area load floor that really helps improve the overall practicality. On the inside, the Telluride looks nothing like the Sorento. This actually looks a little bit more like the Kia Stinger, perhaps merged with the new Kia Forte, and of course the Kia K900, because they're considering this sort of a co-flagship model with their luxury sedan. We have this large infotainment screen right on the top of the dashboard that is optional, we're told, dual zone climate controls, well-lit buttons right here, and this is imitation wood trim. It's not real wood trim like we do find in the K900. The Telluride is a very wide vehicle, so we definitely have a wide center console, wide seats, and then little toggle switches for the seat heating and ventilation. We have a steering wheel that's very similar to what we see in the new Kia Sorento, and that really seems to be the only part that's shared between the two. The size of the Telluride is really noticeable when you hop into the back seat. I have several inches of headroom left, again thanks to the overall very square profile going on here. The second row seats and third row seats fold completely flat with the cargo area in the back, and as you can see back here in the third row, I still have a reasonable amount of headroom. Now, because of the overall shape of this roof, it does taper off a little bit if you want to lean all the way back, but in a normal seating position, I have about an inch left. This model does have this optional large panoramic moonroof and a suede headliner, which is an interesting touch in a vehicle in this category. The Telluride really appears to punch above its weight in terms of the overall interior refinement. Now, unfortunately, we don't know exactly how much this is going to cost yet. In addition to not knowing exactly how much the Telluride costs, we don't exactly know when it's going on sale, but expect it to be in the first half of 2019. We're likely going to be able to drive this within the next few months or so. Expect this to be priced more than the Sorento, but starting less than the top-end models, of course, and probably very, very similar to the Chevy Traverse and the other larger crossovers in this segment. As we've come to expect from Kia, expect the Telluride to have more standard feature content than most of those competitors, and this is also going to be getting some of their new active safety technologies standard in even the base trim, we're told. That's actually kind of a twist for Kia, because a lot of their vehicles have been significantly less expensive than the competition, but the active safety stuff has been optional, not standard, and that appears to be different for the new Telluride. In the meantime, be sure to hit that subscribe button down there at the bottom of your screen, and we'll get a full review to you just as soon as we can.